Hello, this is Avi Kazin, and I'm going to show you my Excel project. So for my project, I chose to make a beer bitterness calculator. What it does is it calculates the bitterness of a beer in IBUs, which is an International Bitterness Unit, and this is a function of the hops that you use, the amount of hops, the alpha acid percentage in the hops, and the amount of time you boil the hops for. So right here you see the main page, and I list the sources down at the bottom, and the first step is to press the Retrieve Reference Table button. This will go in to a website and it'll call this reference table that has a list of a bunch of different types of hops and their alpha acid percentage. So then you go back to the main page and run the calculator. Here's the calculator. Basically you just go in, you have this drop down list and it calls in all those different names from that reference table. You choose whatever type of hops you're planning on using. So let's say we're using glacier hops, and then it calls in the alpha acid percentage, and it'll show you it right here. And then it asks how many or how much in ounces will you use. So generally use about 1 ounce, maybe 1.5 ounces. How long will you boil it for? Let's say 50 minutes. Then another aspect of brewing is finishing hops, and that's where you throw in hops near the end of the boil for aroma purposes. So let's say we're going to use a little bit of Brewer's Gold, and we'll use just ½ an ounce, and we'll throw it in for the last 10 minutes of the boil. And see, it brought up the alpha acid percentage of the Brewer's Gold too. And then you click on Calculate My IBUs, and you should expect a bitterness of about 32.5, which is similar to a pale ale or a porter. So it also calls in from another reference table a beer that is similar in bitterness to the one you're planning on brewing. So let's say I used much less. Let's go. We only used ½ of an ounce for 30 minutes and this for only 5 minutes. So then it's only 10 IBUs, which is similar to an American lager. Now let's say we went crazy and we use 2 ounces and boiled for, let's go, 75 minutes, and then we used 1 ounce here and boiled for 15 minutes. Then we have a bitterness of about 60 IBUs, which is similar to an imperial stout. So this has about 10 different beers that it'll compare it to, from a range of 0 to 100 IBUs. And that is basically how the calculator works. And now let's go into the coding a little bit. So here's the form, and here's the background to the form. So here's the initialize, where it shows that it adds the different hop types to the combo boxes and initializes just everything. And then here's a few different things for the combo boxes. This one is the combo box to change, and just what it does, it'll call in just the different reference number to the alpha acid percentage number to be used in the formula when you select it in the combo box. Here's the main routine. When the command button is clicked, the calculate button is clicked, it shows all the different dimensioning of the variables, and then it has the formula where it calls in the different numbers from the reference tables and whatever you input, and then it'll write out in the message box, and here's where it shows where it calls in the different type of beer that it'll compare your beer to, and spit out a message box right here. And yep, that's the coding to the program. And then over here we have the page with the reference tables, and then here's a few just background pages when I was deriving the formulas and coming up with the factors and everything. Okay, so now I'm going to actually use the program. So the first thing I do is retrieve the tables from online, and then I'll run the calculator. So let's see, I'm brewing a batch right now, and we have glacier hops. So I scroll down to glacier, and I'm using 1.5 ounces, and we're going to boil that for 50 minutes, and then we're going to finish with the rest of the glacier that we have, which will be 0.5 ounces boiled for we'll throw it in the last 10 minutes and calculate it. So we should expect a bitterness of about 31, which is about a pale ale. Sounds good to me. So then here's our wort right here, and we just throw that in there. Looking good.